Hi, thank you for joining the MaLa Yoga YouTube channel. I appreciate all of you that keep coming back and taking these videos and these classes with me. And for those of you that are texting me or sending me personal messages or comments about the classes, I so much appreciate it. It's great to have feedback, and it helps me, decide what kind of classes we're going to have in the future. So today we're going to have yoga for inner and outer strength. And I think that's something a lot of us are spending a lot of time focusing on lately. We spend a lot of time trying to be healthy and get enough movement and activity in our lives. But then also there's all of this mental activity that is constantly filling us with chatter in the mind, and then some anxiety. And then before we know it, we're kind of spiraling downhill, wondering what happened to our clarity and our focus and our balance. And before you know it, sometimes you're just like, you feel very alone. So this class is going to be about inner and outer strength. It will be invigorating. It's going to be challenging. So I'm really excited you're here, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. We're going to start standing in Tadasana. So standing in mountain pose and at the top of your mat or the center of your mat. And as you place your feet together or hip distance apart, it's not, either way is going to work. You're going to start to ground down through the feet. So if you lift your toes up off of your mat and you open the toes wide, you can feel the four corners of each foot starting to root down. As that happens, there's a rebound effect of energy that kind of comes up from the arches of the feet. And the cool thing about yoga is we're always playing with like uniting opposing actions. So where we extend, we're kind of contracting and pulling back. Where we strengthen, we learn to also soften. So there's always kind of these opposing actions that we want to find the balance in between. So as you root down, you have this rebound of energy coming up. So drop now through the tailbone, lift through the top of the chest, broaden through your collarbones so you feel those shoulder blades come down your back. And then your palms just kind of open to the sides, fingers are open, back of your neck is long. And we're going to stand, feeling a couple of our natural breaths. As you inhale, feel the space between the ribs. Now, as you exhale, get really strong through your legs. Inhale, feel this space between the crown of your head and your tailbone. Get a little longer. Exhale, root down through the soles of the feet. Inhale, lengthen the back of your neck. And exhale and soften the muscles of the face. Stand on your center line. So wherever you are, lean a little forward, lean a little back, left and right. Feel that axis of the center line, and then breathe into that space. Consciously, invite awareness into the fact that you're here practicing inner strength and outer strength, and that you're saying, yes, I know I'm strong, but I am looking for a little bit more. Sometimes I get too focused on negative thoughts, something I've struggled with most of my life. I can really get hung up on gravitating to the negative, which is what the ego loves. And oftentimes what yoga has taught me is when I am gravitating and I'm going down that path of negativity, is to just flip the switch and just think positively. Think about things that bring me joy and just make that decision to choose the opposite of what my natural mind might want to gravitate toward. And that is totally what yoga is all about, refining, observing, and we are going to inhale and bring the arms up overhead. Stretch through your side chest, and you're gonna exhale and take them right back down. We're gonna do this a couple more times. Inhale in a way like you're bringing in positivity, and exhale like, hey, I'm letting that negativity go. Inhale, feel the shoulders start to engage. And exhale, imagine your arms are like moving through water, and you'll really feel those shoulders turn on. Inhale, arms come up, you can look up. Exhale, stand taller as you press the arms down. Inhale, from the soles of the feet to the tips of the fingers. Exhale and lower. We're gonna keep going a few more times. We're gonna do a lot with the upper back and the shoulders. So we wanna bring some blood flow there, and we are pressing the arms, turning them on, the shoulders, as the arms move up and down. Now we're gonna do a side stretch. So as your arms come up overhead, grab one of your wrists and then hinge over to the opposite side. So you are laterally stretching the spine, opening your side body, engaging your legs evenly and your glutes. Inhale, come up, reach for the other wrist, and we lateral stretch to the opposite side. Equal effort through both legs and feet and buttocks. Inhale, come up and twist. So one arm comes forward, one arm behind you, look back behind you, stretch through your collarbones. Inhale, arms by the ears. Exhale, twist to the other side. One more time, each direction. Inhale when the arms come up, and exhale, twist to the other side. We are definitely going to be engaging the shoulders a lot, challenging ourselves in new ways. Doing a little bit of inversions today, but we're gonna exhale the arms down, and then we'll turn to the side. We're still in Tadasana, or maybe you're still facing your camera. You're gonna inhale, bring those arms up, and exhale, and swan dive over the legs, tucking the chin. Then inhale, hands come to the shins, look up, flatten your back, and exhale, and forward fold. Inhale, flat back, hands to the shins, scoop your belly and stretch through the sternum, open even the sitting bones, and exhale, and forward fold. Inhale, look up, flat back, pause, and roll the shoulder blades down toward your waist as your thoracic spine drops in and extends out. And now we're gonna bend the knees, hands come down, and you're gonna step one foot back into a runner's lunge. Front knee over the heel. Inhale, come up to a crescent lunge and pause. And now elevate here through your side chest. Bring those shoulders up. You can have the shoulders activated without tensing your neck. So activate the side chest muscles, but soften the neck. Reach up, up, up from your waist to your ribs, and then exhale. Lower the hands down, drop your back knee and the top of the foot, and inhale into a variation of Warrior One. Arms extending fully. So reach through the inner arm and the fingertips. And when you exhale, feel the weight of your hips descend. Inhale, lengthen upward. Notice where the mind is active. Are you feeling like, oh, I'm stretching my groin too much, or oh, this is so hard to hold my arms? And refocus the mind on somewhere else, like the skin of your forehead softening, or your back foot engaging. Refocus, redirect, find that inner strength. Exhale, lower your hands down, Flip the back toe, lift that knee, you're back in runner's lunge. Inhale, crescent lunge. We are warming up. Exhale, hands down. Step that front foot back into plank. We're gonna hold plank pose, activating the underside of the belly, activating your thigh muscles boldly, stretching through your inner heels, back, and then forward through the sides of your neck, crown of your head. Hold it. Let the breath really move. We're finding that inner strength to hold a little bit more. Push that floor away from you. Now scoop your belly in and up and stretch those hips back into downward dog. Stretching through the back side of the legs as you press those thigh bones into the hamstrings. Relax the weight of your head. And then bend the knees, look forward, step the opposite foot between the hands, knees over the heel, runner's lunge, pause, inhale, up to crescent lunge. We're holding it here for at least 5 breaths. So as you inhale, scoop the lower belly in and up. Feel the energy lift. As you exhale, push through the soles of the feet, ground through the stability of the legs. Inhale, feel the breath, lift the fingertips. A little bit higher, yes. Exhale, lower the hands, lower the back knee and that foot. Inhale, arms back up alongside your ears, and you're in this low lunge, gazing slightly up. Feel the skin of your side chest reach up away from your hips. Exhale, and sit down deeper into your lunge. Where is the mind? Are you focusing on the things that are uncomfortable? If so, shift your mind to something that feels comfortable. Exhale, plant your hands down by that foot, flip the toes behind you, scoop the knee up, step into plank, and hold it here. Now, you want to have your hands slightly externally rotated, so your forefingers should be straight ahead, middle finger off toward the corners of your room, and you're taking your triceps of this upper arm and you're wrapping them toward the midline. I know you're holding. If you have to come to your knees, do. If you can hold a little longer, wrap those triceps around the humerus bone. So take the shoulder blades slightly away from each other. Scoop the belly. Now hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Long through the arms. Long through your side chest, like you're opening the underside of your armpit. Pressing not only into the fingertips, but the underside of your knuckle. Like you want to open the underside of the knuckle even wider. Now, look forward, bend your knees, step that back foot up again, and then we'll step the other foot up. Inhaling, hands to the shins, look up, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, ride the breath all the way up, and then exhale, palms in front of the heart in Samasthiti. We're gonna open the feet, your leg distance apart. We're gonna come into triangle pose. So turn your toes to one side, have the front heel match the back arch. Inhale, lift the arms, and pause here. So as the arms lift in this pose and warrior and a lot of the standing poses, we want to have the action of the upper arm externally rotating. So flip your palms face up, thumbs way down, and externally rotate here. Feel that? Now from the elbow to the palm, flip that down. Yes. Now extend out with your ribs, hand down to the shin or the ankle, roll this back shoulder back so it's in line with the hip, and then the arm extends. You can look down if the neck is stiff or look up past the thumb. finding inner strength in this pose. Once you have the flexibility and you're really, really open, we have to really develop inner strength. So one area to focus on here would be squeezing the sitting bones toward the tailbone. Notice now you're not just holding the pose with the gross muscles, those superficial muscles, but there's a lot of inner work going on, especially in the base of the pose between the pubic and navel area. So when you come up, tone the sitting bones toward the tailbone and then use that to be the strength to pull you up. Turn the toes. Make sure those back toes are in front of the heel, and then externally rotate the upper arm bones, turn them on. Exhale, Utthita Trikonasana. So the poses we learn as beginners in yoga, we still do as we advance our practice, because we can always find different areas to strengthen, to lengthen, different areas to engage, and ultimately refine. And that's what yoga is all about, is continually refining the experience of being a human, right? Finding balance, finding strength. Open your feet wider and externally rotate the upper arms and drop the knee over the heel. Virabhadrasana 2. Notice the crown is over the ribs are over the hips, but there's a little curve here in the spine. That's totally fine. You don't want to be flat. You want to have a little bit of this front hip coming back, this back one coming slightly forward. Gazing past your fingertips. Now, instead of focusing on where you might be shaking or feeling a lot of strain, find some areas that feel open or soft, something comfortable. Maybe it's the underside of your palm. Keep your focus there and be strong with your breath. Then inhale, push off the front leg, come up. Turn your toes. If you have to rush the arms, do. If you're okay, keep pulling the bottom of the scapula in and up. Drop the knee over the heel. Settle the crown of the head over the ribs, ribs over the hips. Inner strength in this warrior pose. Deepen the breath. Open the ribs as you inhale. Drop the weight of the hips and that front thigh bone as you exhale. Maybe you're beginning to sweat. Smile a little. Breathe through it. Push off the front leg. Come up and step to Tadasana. All right, Warrior 3, utilizing the muscles of the upper back and the shoulders. We're gonna have 1 foot forward and you're just gonna step 1 foot way back. So we wanna have the hips squared forward. This back heel might come off of the mat a little bit. It might stay down, kind of depends on the flexibility of your Achilles and the shape of your ankle. But we're gonna have the hips square and we're gonna lift the arms up by the ears. Now Warrior 3 is tricky because we're doing Warrior 1. When you drop the front knee over the heel, a lot of times the whole body comes forward. And then people try to do a back bend by leaning back. But what we want to do is start the back bend before you start to lean. So if you're watching me, I'm going to try to keep my torso pretty much over my hips when I bend my knee so that I start bending in the upper back. So I'm going to look up. I'm going to bend the knee and do my best to lift the chest, 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 the side chest. Lift through the fingers. So as you drop that knee over the heel, maybe your arms are shoulder distance apart and you're looking slightly up. Maybe your palms are together and your head is way back. Warrior 1. building lots of heat in the upper back. Oh, and straighten that front leg. Hands down to the hips. You can bend the front knee. Bring that back foot to the top of your mat. Step back pretty far with the other leg. Notice this front leg is staying straight. Hips are square. And when we bend the front knee, we're gonna lift the thoracic spine in and up. You're gonna exhale, knee over heel. Feeling length coming up from even the sides of your waist, through the side ribs, side chest, inner arm, fingertips, breath, totally active and strong. Push into that foot, inhale, come up, turn your toes forward, step to Tadasana. Awesome. Now just observe the circulation, the prana, the heat through your upper body. Maybe even in the legs and the feet. Be really present with your breath in this moment. Grateful for your inner and outer strength. And now we're going to step one foot back, one foot forward. Notice my stance is not as far. This time we're coming into warrior three. Now, since we're working on the upper back, there's a bunch of variations for your hands. You can go here with your palms. You can have hands back. Because we're warming up the upper back for what's to come, we're going to try it with the arms alongside the ears. Now, if you start to go into the pose and you realize that is too much, try maybe taking one hand to the hip. So you have, let's see, the opposite arm of your back leg reaching. We're doing our best to square our hips. So the leg that's extended, that side of the hip is dropping down, and the leg that's standing, that outer hip is going up and back. Reach further with those fingertips. Bend your standing knee, inhale, and come up. Stand in Tadasana and switch sides. I can hardly talk through that one. Inhale, arms by the ears, bend the front knee over the heel, hinge your weight into that foot. Hips stay square. We're looking up between the fingers, turning on the upper back muscles. We're breathing. Get long between the fingertips and your back toes. Bend the standing knee. Inhale, come up. Stand. Tadasana. Mountain pose. Okay, we're going to repeat that one more time. So first side, inhale, arms up and reach through your side chest. Then knee over the big toe, hinge with your torso, back leg lifts, look up, feel the breath. Get long, away from the navel. When you inhale, strong through the feet as you exhale. Bend the knee, inhale up, a breath in mountain pose. Other side. Lift, lift, lift through the side chest like somebody's pulling you up, like you're hanging off a bar. And then take that length with you when you come into the balance. Hips square. Stabilize with your breath. Bend the knee, come back up. Mountain. Good. Hands to the hips. Step your feet, your leg distance apart. Pigeon toe your feet a touch. Inhale, get long through the front body. Look at your brow. Exhale, come over. Hands down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the right knee. We're gonna let the weight of your hips sit down on that heel. Then take the arm to the inside of the knee. Plant this hand. This toe is lifted as you then open up through the side chest, reaching that arm overhead. Breathing. Observe the inner body. Like we can feel obvious things like when the hamstring stretches or the hips are tight. See if you can notice some other subtleties that only you can feel in your inner body. Now exhale, watch the hand come down, and we're gonna shift our weight over to the other side, hips down toward the heel, toes up on the other side. Outer arm to inner knee, and then open through the side body. Open through the toes of that extended leg, foot. Open and notice the space between your fingertips. Lower the hand as you exhale. Plant both of the feet and come into a deep squat. So you're gonna take your hands up to the thighs, and we're gonna first start here by having the thigh bones parallel to the floor. Now, before you lift your arms off, or your hands off of your thighs, notice what starts to engage, just thinking about taking your support out of your hands. Okay, now you're gonna slowly take the hands off of the legs and bring them right to heart center. What engaged? Where did you find the inner strength combined with the outer strength to hold you here with those thighs parallel to the floor? Breathing, squeeze those sit bones to the tailbone. Inhale, open up into a human starfish, and exhale down into goddess pose. Inhale, open the underside of your armpits. Exhale, squeeze the sit bones. One more time, inhale, and exhale. And now we'll slide the hands out to the inner knee once again. And we're gonna drop one shoulder toward the front midline and the other shoulder twist back behind you as you look over it. Now scoop the belly in and up as you look forward, squaring your shoulders. Exhale as you twist to the other side. Back to the center, and we're gonna straighten up the legs, hands to the hips, zigzag your feet in, stand in mountain. Good. Now we're gonna turn and we'll come down to the floor, onto our shins, and then we're gonna come onto the forearms. So notice that the elbow is under the shoulder. I'm gonna interlace the fingers, and we're gonna do dolphin pose. We're gonna go in and out of like a dolphin in a plank. So we wanna really ground down the underside of the forearm. You can see the shoulders start to separate, the shoulder blades, when you really start to push down. You tuck the toes, and you're gonna exhale and have your ears come back between the upper arm bones. And pause here, and ground through the elbow points, and lift through the sit bones, the tailbone. And then on an exhalation, look forward and take your chin past your fingertips so you're in a low plank. Then inhale, reach the hips up and back, ears between the upper arms like a down dog. And then exhale, forward plank. Now we're gonna go quicker. So you're gonna go at your own pace and really try to go fairly quickly with your breath. Yes, now we're gonna hold it in this dolphin. Walk your feet a little closer to your face. Lift, lift, lift through the hips. Walk your feet even closer. Keep those ears moving back between the upper arm bones. And now walk your feet back, rest your knees down, sit back into child's pose for just a breath or two. Good. Now inhale, look up, open your fingers really wide and look at them and have your index finger pointing straight forward. So a lot of times people internally rotate, meaning they go this direction. You want to have fingers straight ahead and almost a bit of an external rotation in your hands, even for down dog. So we're going to come into plank pose with that shape of your hand. You're going to push the floor away from you, and then we're coming into Vasisthasana. So yeah, you could lower your knee, come to the arch of that back foot, and open up here. Or straighten that bottom leg and stack the arches of your feet. Now really root down the underside of the knuckle, the fingertips. You could lift this top leg, see if you can float that. Squeeze your buttocks, pull that foot up into tree pose. Maybe this top arm lengthens. Oh yeah, side body stretch. Back to plank pose with this top knee into your nose. You're gonna flip over, bring that knee up, and then stretch it past the opposite wrist into fallen triangle. So this back foot comes down to the arch. You're on the outside edge of this front foot, and we're gonna open up the top arm and chest. Now look down at the floor, bring the foot back, the hand back, knee to nose, and then stretch back to downward dog. Then shift your shoulders over your wrists, plank pose, and Vasisthasana on the other side. So again, you could lower the knee, you could be on the arch of your back foot, lift through the top arm, or stack the arches of the feet. If you've been doing that one a while, then pull that bottom foot up. You don't have to rest it on the leg. Into an active tree pose. And then upper arm by the outer ear, stretching. And now plank pose with that knee to nose. Yes. And you can stretch it right back to downward dog. Plank, push the floor away from you. Come down onto your shins, sit on the heels, child's pose. And then go ahead and sit up. So I've had some questions recently about how to get into handstands, and there's a lot of different ways to do that. But one way to just practice without having to get a lot of props or a spotter or anything like that is to just practice like a simple kick into the pose. So watch just for a minute and then you can try it with me. So like I was saying, you always want the index finger pointing straight ahead, definitely not internally rotated. And then middle fingers toward the corners of your room. And before you even think about getting your legs or over your head or your hips, you have to start activating from the fingers, the palm of the hand, up the underside of the arm, the back side of the arm. Everything has to turn on in your arms, just like the way your legs would if you're standing in mountain pose. So there's grounding energy down through the inner arm, and the outer arm, it's like sucking energy back up to the shoulder. So that's one thing. So before I even think about lifting the hips, I am like totally turning on the whole arm. Externally rotating here, I'm internally rotating here. I'm totally firing the tips of the fingers, the underside of the knuckle, and then hips come to down dog position. And then you decide, hey, what leg feels more comfortable stepping forward? Now, you don't have to kick. A lot of people just need to practice having a straight leg behind them. The one that is going to kind of push up into a handstand. A lot of people will start to kick and they bend that knee. Okay, so you could just work this and just activating your arms, and you're gonna get a serious workout in the arms and the leg. Then you can switch sides. I'm doing my best to keep the shoulders fairly close over the wrists and hips really high. Okay, so that's like one skill you can always work, and your arms and hands will get stronger and stronger just by doing this action. Then when you're ready to go to the next level, and you're like, I'm pretty strong in my back leg, my arms are strong, you can see how little you can get this kicking foot off of the floor. So I'm gonna try to hover this when I kick, just a couple of inches off my mat. Right? Instead of like, oh, kicking really hard, can you keep both this back leg straight and just lift that foot a couple of inches? And then other side. Other side's always fun. At first you think, no way, no way. And it's just like that mental strength of whatever you're telling yourself, you just flip the perspective and tell yourself something else. Like, hey, my bad side or my weak side, I'm just as coordinated, I'm just as strong. And it's funny, you'll find that you are. Okay, so those are ways to practice kicking up. If you can kick up and you're trying to balance more, a really cool trick is to be next to a wall and to sit down and measure the distance between the sole of your foot and where your knee is, right here, okay? Because when we invert in a moment, you wanna have one side of your body totally straight in a handstand. This is because you're practicing balancing. And the other side, the other foot is gonna stay at the wall for the balance. So it gives you a great opportunity to have the perfect alignment through one side of your body. So now, before I even come up, I'm externally rotating the upper arm. I'm grounding down evenly through the forefinger and the thumb. I'm gonna lift the hips like downward dog, walk the feet a little closer so I can get those shoulders over the wrists, hips starting to stack over the shoulders, and then I'm deciding which leg I'm gonna kick with. I'm gonna come up, and now, see how this bent knee side, I am just the distance between my foot and my knee from the wall. So I can keep this foot here, because then this side of my body, this straight leg side, I can get into just the right alignment. So that would be the heel over the buttocks over the ribs over the crown, and now I'm actively working the arms, shrugging this side chest up, right? So my head isn't hanging down, whoa, weaken the shoulders. Side chest has to elevate the whole way. I'm reaching through the inner leg like I'm standing in mountain pose, and then I have to focus on breathing. Maybe balancing. And down. And then 2 child's pose when you come down. And then inhale, come up. And slide the mat back. I would love to know how that went for you guys. So if you tried it or any of the variations, leave some comments. Tell me what you thought. If you're looking for other tips, tell me how else I can help you with that. If you're just working on building up the strength to it, keep doing these actions and lifting your head up away from the mat. That's how you build the strength in those side chest muscles. plus everything we did leading up to it. Those warriors, and always moving from here, elevating and engaging, okay, and totally straight arms. Now that we're on our knees, let's have them hip distance apart. We're standing on the shins and the tops of the feet, and we're gonna go in and out of crow pose. So we're gonna kind of swoop forward, and you're gonna have one hand reach for the back heel, and then other hand by the ear, or arm by the ear. And then exhale, come down and forward, and inhale, swoop up and around. And then continue. Go back and forth. Yeah, opening the spine even more. And then we're gonna come down, sitting with the legs extended out in front. And we're gonna reach the arms alongside the ears, taking the sides of the feet. Inhale, lift the top chest, and exhale, and forward fold into Paschimottanasana. Cooling down after building a lot of inner heat, inner strength, outer strength for sure, lots of heat. Begin to feel the front lobe of the brain kind of heavy. The back body begins to soften with your breath. The legs are grounding downward. When you're ready, begin to look up as you inhale, and then we're just going to slide back all the way onto the back body, opening the palms face up, dropping right into Shavasana. Take a moment to smile to yourself, all that you have worked on and through your practice today, challenging yourself hopefully in new ways. And remembering that inner strength is a state of mind. And when we are not where we want to be, when we are feeling the pressure, anxiety, or negativity, you can flip the switch and choose to think positively, to slow down enough to gain some clarity, and walk in a place where you're on your center line, you're in balance, strong inwardly and outwardly. And letting it all go. As you give in and surrender into the nourishment of even your mat, dropping deeper and deeper into Shavasana. Gently deepen your next inhale. Awaken the fingers and the toes. Draw the knees up and roll to one side. Give thanks for your blessings. And come up to a seated position when you're ready. I honor the place in you where there is truth and light and peace. And when you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. And thanks again for taking class with me. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about it, please leave comments, and have a great day. And here's to inner strength and outer strength. See you next time. Bye.